Yo, what's up everybody? It's your boy Lahima here, and today we're going to be going over a piece of equipment that not that many people know about and even less people actually have in their studio. And that piece of equipment is the Ciat-Lonbarde Cocoquantus. Why did I choose to actually talk about this piece of equipment today? Well, not only is it very rare, but actually it's very unique. The Cocoquantus is essentially two 8-bit samplers with a Qantas in the middle that is used to modulate both samplers independently. So in general, it's a pretty cool tool. So the goal for the day is that we're going to kind of go over some patching tips for the Cocoquantus, because if you couldn't tell, it requires tons of patch cables, and show you just different ways that I use it in my own production, whether it be using it as ambient effects or using it even to sample sounds and put them on OP1. But anyways, kind of after talking about the tips and stuff for the Cocoquantus, from there we're just going to grab some sounds from it, and then from there I'm going to make kind of a cool ambient track or a spicy beat. But in any case, it's going to be raw, so Mamma mia, let's go ahead and get into it. So the Cocoquantus essentially is broken down into 4 parts, or really 3. We have 2 delay modules. We have a middle unit called the Cocoquantus that is meant to modulate both delays, all the parameters, for instance, the direction of playback. Well, if it skips, also can modulate the pitch, as well as the amplitude. It can do amplitude modulation on the feedback and the input, or you can say the feedback is similar to saying the sampler that's actually in the feedback loop. And also lastly, we have the input section, which is meant for piezo inputs. And that piezo can be distributed to both samplers independently. It can also take a mic input as well. So it can do a lot. So what we're going to do first is actually, instead of putting external input, we're going to use the internal oscillators, the Cocoquantus, because how the Cocoquantus actually goes about modulating the parameters of both delays is by using these 2 oscillators. So that's what we're going to start off with, by listening to each of these oscillators and then using that to sample them. So we're going to use the orange one first, and we're going to input it in. And as you see, if we turn it up, we have the oscillator. We can hear the internal oscillators, and also we can control the speed of the oscillator as well. So by slowing it down, we can get a more of a stepped oscillation, and then by turning it up, we can get more of a drone. Either it works. So we're just going to take that in, turn down a bit, and we're going to sample it. So now we can actually take this and slow it down. And then what we can do next is actually use the same oscillator to control the pitch of it. In the same sense, we can use another oscillator to control the direction of playback or skip it. So in this case, I'm going to skip it. So as you can see, it's sporadically skipping through the waveform. And then we can actually take that and use it as the input into another oscillator. So we're going to take this one and put it into the second delay. Turn it up. And then we're going to sample it. So now we're going to turn that up. So now, as you can hear, we have 2 samples going on. We have the one from the right module, and we have the one from the left module. And so now what we can actually do is pitch the right one up, pitch it down, whatever we want to do. In this case, what I'm going to do is next I'm going to actually sync them. So we can sync them a couple different ways. We can sync any of the parameters via the same oscillator and get them to step in the same way. So in this case, for the sake of simplicity, I'm actually going to sync them via the feedback. So I'm going to do amplitude modulation on the feedback itself. As you can tell, this requires a lot of cables. So anyways, I'm going to take this. I'm going to use it to control the feedback. Actually, let's use it on the flip instead. Same on this end. Use it for the flip function. Actually, we're getting something interesting characteristics. And then by changing the speed, we can get a kind of drone sound. And we can do that even more on more parameters as well. For instance, we can take another oscillator from the same bin, use it on the feedback. And if we turn the speed down, we can get a more stepped walking motion with the input. And then also we can introduce chaos or randomness into the sequence by using the chaos knob. And then maybe even a little bit more chaos by actually using another oscillator, for instance, from another pedal, to oscillate one of the other oscillators, like in this case. So what we're actually doing is using this oscillator here to modulate all of these oscillators. And that way we can introduce some randomness into the sequence. So as you can see, we get some very interesting textures very quickly just by applying a little bit of motion and movement and into the delay path itself. And also if we just add some delay, get something interesting as well. So this is all using the internal inputs of the Cocoquantus. But what if you use an external input, for example, the OP1? So that's the next thing I'm going to do. I'm going to take the OP1, hook it up, and see how it sounds after we kind of throw it in the Cocoquantus and do some patching. So what I've done now is I've taken the output of the OP1 and put it into the Cocoquantus, and then I've actually distributed the output to both of the samplers independently, so that way we can actually sample both of them independently one of another. And what I have on the OP1 is just a simple patch loaded up. So anyways, let's go ahead and begin. And now what we can do is I can take both of them independently and pitch them down and kind of mess with the pitches until we get something we like. And as you can see, we're getting something very dreamy, very ethereal-like. We take this and actually add, and so now what we're going to do is actually take and add some feedback or modulation to some of the parameters, for instance, such as the reverse parameter or the flip parameter. So now what I'm doing is actually modulating the pitch on the little piano part I put in. We can actually slow down the modulation. And now we can start stepping both of the loops independently or together. And then we can even add some extra loops on top. We could even pitch some of the loops down some more. What we're doing is actually slowly stepping. We can speed up that step or slow it down. And now we can introduce some chaos with the chaos knob. And that pretty much ends for today, guys. If you like the video, go ahead and make sure to subscribe. And also, as well, go and make sure to hit the bell button so that we can stay notified when I post new stuff, because of YouTube's new algorithm, they don't like letting people know when smaller channels post new stuff. So I just want you guys to stay in too. With that being said as well, if you like the video, go ahead and leave a like and hit me a comment down below and tell me how you liked it, what you like about it, how you feel about the Cocoquantus. Was it interesting, not interesting? Just let me know how you feel. Also, as well, go ahead and follow me on Instagram at Lahima Beats. I'll put it somewhere so you guys can see it. I post pretty cool content on there. I took a little break, but I'm going to be getting back into it. And the track actually is going to play right after this. But just quick note about the track. It actually turned out kind of pretty cool. I kind of made like a lo-fi sort of ambient track thing. So it turned out very interesting. But you guys will like it. But in any case, it's nice seeing you guys. Hope to see you guys again. Lahima out.